Hey, this is for Wookdar, but also anybody following this debate. Okay, I want to give a simple picture here of what's going on with me calling things subjective. The fact is that all animals have evolved to have some sort of an objective model, and by all animals I mean at least mammals, but also it would seem birds, and I don't know. You could probably make a case for most animals, I guess. At some point, for very primitive life, might not have something called a worldview. They might not really conceive of the objective world, but dogs, they know if something runs behind a tree and they can't see it anymore, it's still there. They understand this kind of idea of an objective world. We have ideas from this objective world, so we're going to agree a lot because we believe in looking at the objective world. But philosophy happens below that level, where we're analyzing how do we build this picture of an objective world, and it turns out all the pieces are subjective, and that's all. And here's the example. If a painter is painting a horse, a picture of a horse, and the horse is really there, and then he paints his picture and he's done. Now, the horse is still there. Now that painting, is it made of paint or is it made of objective facts? If there is a bug crawling on that horse that the painter didn't see, then the bug won't be in the painting. The painting is made of paint. It's made of the subjective impressions of that artist. That picture is a subjective vision of an objective world, but it's not the objective world. It is made of subjective elements, and that's what we're doing. If you have no senses, what you have is an empty holodeck in your mind, okay? This holodeck you can project a dream or reality into. And in either case, it's a painting that you've made of the world for your use. Okay? It is a painting. It remains a subjective thing. Now, above the level of objectivity, if you just want to take the world of objectivity as an approximation, of what you're really experiencing, then that's fine, because it's meant to correlate to the objective world, and that'll work for you to a certain approximation. But if you really want to understand, then you have to understand that it's subjective. And there's a couple other reasons that this is important. For one, take natural philosophy, physics. We have a very interesting and surprisingly complete picture of the objective world through physics. But part of that has been reducing the world to things that could be measured. Time, distance. And so we're measuring those things, and that the whole world is not captured by that. There's still a lot of the world that's subjective. And in with our senses are mixed a lot of subjective ideas. Go back 1,000 years and people understood objective reality, and yet they still thought there were spirits and everything, and they thought they sensed these directly. If you want to sort out that kind of stuff, then you do need to think at this level of objectivity and figure out, well, how is so much subjective stuff sneaking in to our theory of objectivity? Because we're still in the middle of this. We still have a lot of phantoms and misapprehension in our interpretation. So below the level of objectivity, that's where we're discussing whether we believe in objective knowledge or not. And I'm saying no, because no matter how good your painting is of the real world, it's still a subjective element. Now, this is not putting down our perceptions, no. This is putting our perceptions way up high, because we're saying that's good enough. It's good enough just to have perceptions of the real world. It's good enough to have a subjective picture, because you can approximate objectivity to an arbitrary degree, but never 100%. But it can be better and better, but never 100%. And so that's just reality. I want to base my philosophy on reality. And the objective fact is that painting cannot be an objective representation. It is a subjective representation. Okay, that's an objective fact. The objective model itself shows us that we just have sense organs, and that our brain is a kind of a device, a biological device that's able to get this sense information. So we know that these are subjective pictures that we've reproduced. Okay? There's no advantage to pretending that it's not good enough to just have an apprehension. It's not good enough to just believe in what appears to be the case. But you don't have anything more. You're the ones that get stuck then, because you're saying, that your standards for knowledge are so high that you can never get knowledge. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying my standards for knowledge are what appears to be the case. But I'm not going to call that painting, objective. I'm just not going to do that because it's not.